Welcome back to Themed Journals. My name is April, and welcome to the home and Themed Journal journey. Okay, so I have been working really hard offline on both of my journals. They should be done this week. This is for Thursday. You'll see this Thursday, so on Sunday we'll have a walkthrough. All right. So this is the notepad I made for the dog journal. I mean, how cute's that? And I did a little bit of that over here too. And then, beautiful, there's the wolf and a St. Bernard. And then I've put matching papers in it. And then I used some of these and I put little pearls on the corners. They sort of went flat there. These did a little bit better. Well, I guess I got to redo two of them. All right, no worries. It's this corner and that corner. So we'll begin with that, and I'll put it aside again to let it dry. All right. There. So that's the notepad for the dog journal. And then look at this wolf I found. It was on a calendar. So I'm going to put that in as a feature piece in the dog journal. Okay, so the other thing I've been working on offline is our pockets for the dog journal. Been using fabric for the front, and then this paper that I put as a okay, so let me catch you up with the dog journal. All right, I did the charms, the spine charms, and I did a friendship bead with, look at that. I put a dog in, it was a bevel without a picture. And so I put a picture in there and then put glue in there. It turned out really well, and then I turned it into a friendship bead. And then I put these on both sides. So there's a lot of pretty stuff. And then on the strings, I put cute little beads. Then I did all these too. So let's see here. Remember, I put these as cover pages on the cover sheet. Yeah, so this is going to match that. So I'm very excited about that. Okay. Now, I have also done the closures for both. I've started the closures for both journals. I haven't attached them yet, but this is going to be the closure for the cat journal, and these are the closures for the dog journals. Come on. So there we go. That's the start of them anyway. And that's what they look on back. What I did was I did it a half-inch punch out on gold paper, and then I glued the gold side through here. So if you happen to see through it, which you don't, but just in case that you could, then all you'd see is a gold reflection. And so that's what I've been doing offline. And what, just so you can see how, now I have, I need 6 pot. Oh, let me show you everything. This is the tag, the bookmark / tag. Oh, how cool's that? Yep. And then this is the writing board. You can write on this side or this side. It doesn't matter, whichever side you choose. It's got a cute little dangly. Okay, so that's where I'm at with that. And I'm just going to put these into the journal so they don't go flying. Now, this is what I started out with to start these pockets. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh your memory on how I do these pockets, and then we'll start. So you take a piece of paper. Let me get you the measurements. Oops. I like 8 and I don't know, 9/10 by, I think this is like 10 or 11 and a half. So it's slightly bigger than a normal piece of paper, and definitely our book does. So then I fold it in half, and you have to make sure that these are even, and then I fold it in half again. All right. Since this is thicker paper, I've been using my bone folder on this because you definitely want it to stay down. All right. Now, this is where you need to make up your mind. Do you want a left pocket or you want a right pocket? Because that will depend on how you make the final. So for this, I glued back the corners. Yeah. So if you want a right pocket, you go this way. So the end result will look like this as it sits on the signature page. Okay, so that's what I like to do. You can have all left pockets, you can have all right pockets. It's completely up to you, but I like even, you know me, matchy matchy. So let's just say we wanted a left fold pocket. So what I do is I just fold all these back, and I eyeball, this is my line, the tips. So I point the tips at the previous tip, and usually you can get it pretty good. And you want the spacing between here to be fairly similar, okay? So you can either put them in like this, but for this for my purpose, I punched it out like so. Then what I do is I crease them opposite before I glue them down. Okay. Okay. Then to make sure that I got it correct, I refold it with the pages going in the direction that I want. Okay, so that's what I did. And then what I go through is I just take my permanent glue stick and I just glue in the pages. What I do is when I flip them, I glue them at the same time. But I just wanted to demonstrate real quick this technique. And if you wanted a right pocket, you would have done it this way and done it the opposite way, okay? Hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know in the comments below, okay? So look at this beautiful wolf I found. Yep, okay, so we'll deal with that in a little bit. Okay, so the next step is to decide if that is okay. See, you only get one per section. So what I've done, and you can do it any way you want, of course, is I just put glue stick on everything. And then, oh, well, what I do, I guess you could glue it down too, or just put it down, is I go like this. Okay, and make sure that you get that this down on the ridges, okay? Then I flip it over, and I don't use my heavy duty paper scissors. I use a lighter pair because you want to be able to do this and cut it fairly quickly, all right? Then the last thing I do is I just take this, put a little glue on the back, and then flip it over just like that one, all right? Now you say, but I can't open it. That's correct. And as soon as I get all these on, we'll do the next step, because you can see, la 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 la. I know, dramatic. All right. So I'm just going to do it on all the last three pockets that I have. So when I'm done, it doesn't look like I have folded white paper and That's all I've done for the what do you call it? My customer. No. We definitely want our customers to think, oh, this is so pretty and everything matches. Yeah. All right. Now, okay, let me show you something else real quick. Okay, let me put that over there. See how this is a jagged edge, and if you can see that right here, it's a little off. So I take out my heavy duty scissors, and this is where you can trim stuff before you sew, because what I'm going to do is after this video is done and these are made, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew everything down. Yeah. So the way you bring it to your sewing machine, that's the way it's going to look. All right. All right. Now you can also put the glue on the paper and just fold it over. You could do it any way you want. This is a versatile paper project, so. All right. Now I need, where's the paper? Okay. I thought I had enough for 3, but I didn't. I miscalculated, because see, if I try to do it this way, it's off by that much. Now, mind you, okay, let me show you how you can actually use this without going on and opening a new sheet. If you're like me, I don't like leftovers and I hate waste. Okay, so I did this on one of my other ones, and it was fine. You couldn't even tell that I had done it. And that way, I don't have to ruin not ruin, but cut up a new sheet and then have a bunch of it left over at the wrong length for my next project. So yeah, very pleased about this. All right, there we go. We're going to put that down like this, and then what I do is I just run this up like so. There. And by the time I'm done, you won't even notice that it's there. So that's very exciting. Ugh. All right. Now you see this one's a little bit taller, that white piece, and so I just cut it off. And we still have stuff left over. All right. All right. Now, the next step, you have to have a very delicate touch. And I like to use my teeny tiny scissors for this, especially one that's super sharp. So what you need to do is, and it's ideally, see, this is a pointy tip. Some of these are what I call a dull tip. See the difference between them? You want a pointy tipped one, not a dull tipped one. Okay, so what I do is I just slip my pointy, this is why you want it pointy and not dull. So you want to get under there like so, and then butt it against the paper, this edge of the paper. And you just sort of, and then if it isn't working out quite the way you want it, you can go to the other end and come back like so. Okay, then you can use your glue, and you can re-glue the ends down, because you don't want that flipping up when you are sewing. Yeah, because what we're going to do when we sew this, we're going to take we're going to sew here, 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 and here. Then what we'll do is we'll go here all the way up and all the way back on the small strips. The result is really stunning, but it is a little, how do you want to call it? It's a little fiddly. That's the best way I could describe it. It is fiddly, but the result is beautiful. I mean, I would be the first one to admit it. And this is the second time I've done pockets like this. I did pockets like this for the journals I made for Christmas a couple years ago. And they turned out so beautiful. Oh. And so that's all you do. That's how you get the thin paper on. All right. All right. And you may still need to do a little snipping of the edge, just a wee bit. Because what'll happen is if you don't have the glue glued or this paper glued down when you're sewing, it'll flip back and it'll look ridiculous. The foot will drag it. All right. Then now you do not want to do any of the sewing until you get the fabric on. All right, so since we're doing multiple things, I'm going to do a little bit of streamlining here. And by that I mean I'm going to do all the like things together, so you know, trying to do all the boy, I can't believe I ripped that off. And it still doesn't want to come off the tip of my scissors. Pain in the neck. Ugh. All right, let's see how that comes up. All right, I'm going to have to fix that, I guess. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to, you can see it's very delicate paper. It's like tissue paper, but it's made out of mulberries by mulberry worms. I'm sure this is the mulberry paper. All right. No worries. All right. You just have, this is where the fiddly part comes in, and you absolutely must be patient. Yep. All right, here we go. Now let's see if we can try something. Try an experiment real quick. All right, let's see if that helped. That's much better. All right, that's much better. Okay. Now, everything that you want done to this prior to doing the sewing must be done right now. I just thought of something I was going to do with this after I get, okay. So, where's my ink? Okay. Guess we're going to use a ground espresso for this. Okay, ground espresso it is. All right. So what you want to do to get this all, oh, I missed some. How did I miss some? Oh, that's right. I got distracted by telling you whatever you want it done with this is got to be done before you start sewing, and then I totally forgot what I was going to do. All right. No worries. No, I may need that. Okay. Now, I did like the outcome. If you're going to try it this way, use a really light hand as you come up. All right. Let's see. Is I light enough or too light? Oh, yeah, look at that. Very nice. I like the effect immensely. All right, there we go. So you can see it's a little off here, so we're going to give it a little cut. And then the last one. Now that's what I was afraid would happen. See that? Yeah. So that's what is going to happen if you aren't careful. No. All right. Now, put the lid on. Okay, so what I want to have happen is have these edges be inked. All right. It's been a while since I used my ground espresso. It's dry. Ooh. All right. So I've got to let this sink in before I can do anything. All right. So that's what I'm going to do on these edges as soon as I get the ink sorted out. Okay, so the next step, while this is going into the ink, is that you want to choose out a head of your animal. Mine happened to be dogs for this one, obviously. So, okay. So I got a bunch of extra fabric, and the couple things you have to look out for is that you want to be able to it's got to be wide enough, and it's got to be long enough. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to do a little snip here at this corner, and then up here. All right, then we've got our guide for ripping it. All right. All right. All right, now, oh, there's my scissors. See, I accidentally didn't cut along this or rip along this edge very well, so I don't want that in there at all, so we're going to cut that off. Okay, so we got one, and we're going to need 3. So we got 1. All right. Okay. Let's see if we can get another dog face without having to really... All right, I think this Scottish Terrier would look good on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to all right. Okay, so let's put this on here. All right. Then we can see what in the world we're doing. So we need a rip here or a little cut there, and then we need a cut at the other end. You probably can't see it because it's probably off the, but anyway. So what we'll do this time is we're gonna rip, oh, why is this giving me the devil? Oh, there we go, right. And then we're gonna rip. All right, now let's see how that looks. Oh no, what we need is this, and then what we need is to rip down like so. Okay. All right, so now we got the second one. I think we got a theme going here. This is the second time I've used the Scottish Terrier. Haha. All right. Put this pile over here. And you want to choose a face that will look good on whatever corner you decide to put the, so like this. All right. See, his face is too broad. But this wolf should do quite well. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue ripping this way by a little bit. And, all right. Okay, then we'll get the other direction in just a second. Let's give it a little persuasion here, not too much. All right, there. And then we'll come down like, all right, there. Then we'll come down here. And then we'll go up like here, and we can, now, there's a couple of reasons why I'm ripping these. One, it's easier than to cut, but also because I want to fray the edges. All right, that's the third one. All right, yeah, okay. Let me put the fabric back up here. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to fray the edges. And I've just been putting the extra threads into my sewing thread thing for boho beads eventually, whenever I get around to making more boho beads, or better yet, making some boho journals again. That was a lot of fun. I have quite a few projects in between those two endeavors though. All right. All right. Now, okay. So the first thing I do is I just take the glue again. And I just put it all over the bottom portion of the... Now, if you're short on paper and you wanted to do this and you didn't have enough paper to go all over all of it, then I'd encourage you just to do the pockets, the pocket edges. Yeah. All right. So we're going to put this here. All right. It goes all the way up to the corner. Smooth it down. All right. Now we need to... All right. Then what I do is I just fold the fabric back as well. Okay. And then on this side, there's my fabric scissors. I just give it a little snip like that, and we're done. All right. Then I'm going to do a straight stitch here, 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 and then I'm going to do each one of these as well. Oopsie, I think I did a boo-boo. Yeah, I did. All right, try this again, part 2. Don't grab 2 pockets like I did. Yeah, don't do that. All right, there. Okay, that looks much better. All right. And you just rinse and repeat until you're done. Now on this one, I don't want all this extra fabric between here and there, so I'm just going to cut it in as straight of a row as I can before I get started. And then I'll go back to fraying. I mean, self-explanatory on how to fray. It's rather easy. Now this is the side that we really want to fray, is this side, because that's going to be even. The fray will be even with the paper. So we definitely want it to be nicely frayed. It's unfortunate that I had to cut the side we really, really want it to be frayed on. So anyway. Sometimes you can get it in one go and sometimes you can't. All right, now. Yep. Strings everywhere. Okay. There we go. Now I think I should fray it a little bit here too. Just a wee bit more. There we go. And this side, I don't know if I can even grab it because of the way it was cut. All right. All right. So that's what the edges look like. Okay. So this time, I'm not going to catch the second page. I should have done this on the first one. This is the easiest way to do it, right here. Just lay it out flat and then fold it in half again so you can align this edge there. And then open it again so you can and there you have it. All right. Now our last one. All right, this is going to be on this side. So this is the side we want to fray. I mean, we want to fray all of it, but especially the top and right side of the fabric. Okay. And sometimes it's easier to start fraying at the bottom of the fabric. And sometimes it's not. That's why the top has to be frayed more so you can see the pieces to fray down. I hope that makes sense. Anyway. There. All right. You just fray until your heart's content and you like the way it looks. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can recut the fray and, you know, start the fraying again. I had to do that a few times on the pockets I've already done. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Now let's see if, nope, it's cut, it's torn quite well. Okay, see, you don't want to catch that edge like I did the first time. Yeah. All right. All right. And this now will all go into the bin, or the bowl for that. Okay, thank you so much for joining me on today's theme journal journey. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell. And I will, it's almost done. I will ink these and then sew them, and I'll come back and show you the final result in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.